do to speak English fluently? That's a question I encounter a lot of times when I go for training. As a person who has learned English as their second or third language, most of us find it very difficult to speak fluently in English. So what is actually fluency? Fluency is reducing that gap between understanding and responding. What happens when a person who uses English as a second or third language is, when we hear someone speaking to us in English, we try to translate that into our mother tongue to understand that. Then we formulate an answer in our mother tongue, translate that back into English, and then try to speak. So there is this time gap. That is where the fluency is lacking. So that is where we have to work first. And how? So today I am going to give you 5 tips with which you can be very fluent in English. Something I have used myself and I have trained many of my students too. And I hope you use these 5 tips during this particular time, that is this COVID time when we are not able to go out much. Maybe you can improve your language during this time, and once this threat goes out and we will be able to move out again, then by the time you will be very fluent in English. So let's come to the tips. So the first tip is start reading English. When I say read English, it is not reading the editorial of those newspapers. No. I will not even recommend you to start reading newspapers to understand English or to be fluent in English, because most of the time what happens is English newspapers use a lot of jargons and very tough words which will put off us, because we have to check the dictionary for the meaning and all these things, and we may find it very difficult to follow that. So what I suggest is go for children's books. Children's books, like books which have stories which are maybe 1 page or 2 page long, so that you will be able to read that in a go. Okay, what are the advantages of using that? First of all, children's books are usually the ones which are meant to teach children the language, the basics of the language. And they are mostly in the conversational mode. It's like the lion told the jackal or the tiger told the bird, like that. Okay, so when we read those conversational strips, we will get an idea of how we have to speak. That's the best thing about children's books. And you will be able to read that maybe in 5 or 10 minutes, so that you will feel like, okay, I have completed a task. That good feeling you will get. Go for books like Panchatantra stories, Aesop's fables, grandma tales, grandpa tales, like that. Those small books. Now, the second tip is start listening to English. Try to listen to native speakers, or if not possible, listen to people from your place itself who can speak English well. Again, I will never recommend you watch a news channel just to improve your language. No, because usually a news is in a structured format. That's not what we want. What we want is the conversational language, the words we can use when we are speaking, right? So it's better to watch a talk show rather than watching a news. That will be much better for you to improve your language. Otherwise, what you can do is, you can listen to podcasts. Just Google podcasts. You can download podcasts. There are many different sites which can give you podcasts. A podcast is a short strip of conversation, maybe between 2 people or between 3 or 4 people. So you can listen to that, download one, listen to that for 1 week, then discard that and take another one. And you can even go to this particular website by British Council, which is called learnenglish.britishcouncil.org. where you will get podcasts with their transcript down there, so that in case you cannot understand what they are speaking, you can read the transcript and then you can even answer those questions which are given there. There are exercises given down there. That is for those who are trying to appear for IELTS and other competitive English exams. So go for podcasts, listen to English. Because many a times what happens is when we are reading, we might be thinking, okay, this could be the pronunciation of this particular word. But English is a very tricky language. It writes something and speaks something differently. So in that case, it's better to listen to a person who can pronounce it properly so that you will be able to pronounce it properly. So listen to English. That's a second tip. Now, coming to the third tip, start writing in English. Again, not very long essays, no. Keep a diary. Write about yourself, your day, or what you have seen during that day. Anything you feel like. A maximum of 10 sentences or maybe between 6 and 10 sentences. You do that regularly for a month and you can see that your language is improving. At first you might be confused whether I should write in past tense or present tense or future tense. All these tenses can be quite confusing. But just keep on writing. Make mistakes and learn from the mistakes. You don't even need someone to correct your writing. You can see that it is improving by itself. So daily, have a habit of writing 6 to 10 sentences. So that's a third tip. Now, coming to the fourth tip, try to find someone with whom you can have a conversation. It could be someone else who is trying to improve their language. That's the best person. Or someone who can speak with you and you are sure that person will not tease you. Someone with whom you are okay to make mistakes. Find someone like that. And if you are a parent and you have children, maybe you can start talking to them in English. Make a rule in your home, like we will speak in English for the next 1 hour or so. Or you can even take something at your home and just do a show and tell with your children so that they also will be able to use the language comfortably. So you can just show the thing and you can just talk about that thing. So like this is a toy and this has 2 eyes, like that. Make simple sentences, but have the habit of using the language. Now, the fifth and the foremost or the most important tip is start thinking in English. You know, we are always doing a self-talk inside our head, right? We are talking to ourselves all the time. Try to change that into English. I know that you will be thinking in your mother tongue. Change that into English consciously. You may not remember to do that always, but whenever you are remembering that, try to do that in English. Whatever you are doing, talk to yourself about that in English. Whatever you are seeing, describe that inside your head. This is the most important tip I can give you because, first of all, as you are speaking inside your head, you can very easily make mistakes and not be embarrassed. Because for most of us, we may be able to write in English, we may be able to read English, but speaking is very difficult because we are confused about the grammar. We are confused whether we will make mistakes and we are embarrassed, so we will never use the language. So when you're doing this, that is, you are talking inside your head, you need not be embarrassed because you are talking to yourself. In case you are making mistakes also, it is okay. And slowly your brain will start accepting it as your language. Because to be fluent, you have to start thinking in the language. So these are the 5 tips we have to use. The first one is start reading, then listening to the language, then writing, then having a conversation with someone, and then thinking inside. Now, you may think that, okay, these are difficult times, I'm not able to go out. No need. You have a smartphone, you can use this. You can just go digital and use these tips. A lot of small stories are available in the internet. You just click children's stories, you will be able to get those. So you can read that. And there are even apps which teach you. There are many English speaking and listening apps where you can hear someone reading it out. You can just read with them. So make use of what you have in your hand and then try to improve the language. But never forget, start thinking in English. That is the best thing you can do to yourself. So I hope you will improve your language and you will start speaking in English. And you can use this not only for English, but for any other language you want to learn or you want to be fluent in. Use these tips and you'll be able to do that. And in case like you are forgetting, okay, one word in between, don't feel bad. You can just put your mother tongue, that word there, and then you can speak the rest in English. Because the more you use the language, you will be able to improve the language.